Oh, I'm not looking forward to today. I did some trim work though last night. No, not trim work. Some blocking in. What's up, Cobalt? What's up, fat man? You said you got let loose or you gotta let loose? Got some more kit bashing going on, buddy? Kya. So we've got a ton to do. I probably should have actually pre-prepped this stuff. What's up, Kelpiest? Blight Kings are great for kit bashing anything Nurgle. I gave a buddy of mine a box of my Blight Kings that I had left for his Death Guard. So whatever parts he needs, he can just use. This is our new best friend for like the next 2 hours. Okay. I might have to clear. Yeah, I gotta do replacement for my wet palette. Get some water in here. I'm actually happy I opted out of getting my second, like, Dexessa Sinacessa Demon Prince. Also, I'm opting out of my second Land Raider. Had I had a Land Raider sitting here with all of these models, that would have been it. I would have, like, just decided not to paint. Would have been like, nope. I'm done here. No more of this. To Red Gobbo. What kind of presentation, Kelpiest? Anything fun? Just boring. Standard stuff. Wet palette. Oh, nice. Are you going to go meta with it and talk about how the game itself is a resource, but then playing the game is also a resource? As there's only limited prints of cards. Thus creating a system of power creep and, you know, people needing to put in effort if they want to be considered good to achieve the earning of rarity. What's up, Coolin? One Night Lord. Nice. We've got these to work on. Oh, I missed my frickin' one run on Flesh for this. Yeah, the detail on Nemesis Claw Night Lords is insane. One of the people at the tournament was playing Nemesis Claw. They are quite psycho mode. I might try to figure out how to get there this Thursday. Sounds like someone who went to the tournament wants to come back for, like, learning games. And even if no one else is, like, there to play against, it sounds like the one person, like the guy that runs it, is going to bring some stuff to play against. I could grab some stuff and take them in. Help them out, go over concepts and strategy. Specifically the deeper stuff. That's the things I like about Kill Team. A lot of people stick to like the surface level of how Kill Team is played, but if I could at least toss in some thought process, accelerate people's understanding of the game by like decades, that'd be nice. We'll do gold horns. Nemesis Claws are kind of hard to play. The more I think about it, they have a lot of cool tools. But it's kind of the issue, sort of like the Hearthkin. Because, like, the Hearthkins issue, like, the Salvagers specifically, their issue is 2 APL and then just, like, a million very useful abilities. So, the fact that I won with that team, and I think there were a few abilities that are like, oh, these are 100% good, and if I use them, that's awesome. And I played 4 games and didn't use a single one. Like, I think I jammered one person, and then I think I killed them before the jammer mattered. Because I got, like, a really good spike. What's good about this approach, though, is you see how the Vaporwave break with the Cobalt into the pink down here? I don't really go too hard on the gold past a certain point on them. So, like, it makes it a little bit... If I had to do the legs, man. If I had to actually paint these legs to, like, full quality. Ugh. That would not have made me happy. So Kelpius, the paper is just like going over the rules, and that's about it, or? I'm not going to underplay the fact that I am sitting here commending myself for having not purchased more Emperor's Children to paint for today. Oh yeah. I mean, resources are the universal constant in, like, everything. Until we as humans conquer the concept of time, resources will always be important, as time is always the most important resource. Yeah, but that makes me want to get them more, right, Steeljack? Like if I can get to 60, or if I can get to, what is it? Yeah, 60 infractors. I've done my due diligence. Handshake getting too bad. Super secret trick for people who have handshake. At least a minor amount. This. Do that. It supports both your hands with their pushed in strength, allowing you to minimize strength and maximize efficiency and accuracy. Alright, let's get the flesh tone on here that I forgot to do. I feel like they didn't give us a cultist equivalent because A, they probably didn't have it on hand in the moment, and B, they're probably wanting to do a separate one, so that might end up being a kill team, right? I could easily see a Slanesh-style cultist end up as a kill team. Get that flesh tone on there. Hell yeah. Did I miss other? No, I got most of the other ones. Do the inner thing for this guy, gold. Like the inner neck guard. So that's, we're missing ranged, but maybe they are trying to design Slanesh to end up being the army that doesn't need ranged all that much, which I would honestly accept. Like, if we're being real, I'd be completely fine with them being like, oh yeah, you actually don't need ranged. It's like, alright, yeah, that's the army I want to play then. Because it is a little weird to see Khorne with, like, good shooting, right? Like, is anyone else weirded out by that? Is it just me? So if they make Slaanesh the, hey, guess what, you pretty much don't have guns army. Like, if our best shooting is Tormentors, then that's what it is. Well, okay, our best shooting would be Noise Marines, but that's 18-inch. And honestly, the amount of times I've shot those into vehicles and have had 0 results, I'm just like, alright, I get it. They're great anti-infantry. I guess I'll take them into knights or something. I don't... It just doesn't feel good. Oh, let me move the microphone a little bit. While we do this, I've got some other correctionary things I should probably work on as I notice it. I do think we need like a proper pain-fueled unit. I think, what, the Mauler Fiend is the one that we have right now. But like, people. I think we need a people unit that's like, oh, you killed one of my guys. That's too bad for you. I don't know if we need heavy flamers. I've talked about this with other people. Like, what if we do get a Hellbrute eventually, but like it's a specific Slaanesh? I mean, we've talked about this for a while, I think. The idea that we haven't really seen too many Hellbrutes drop in the US. They haven't been given a personal box or anything. And the assumption is that it sounds and feels like Games Workshop is maybe reassessing how the Hellbrutes are supposed to be. So we either get like a visually updated variant, or they give us one where you buy a single Hellbrute and then you get all the parts to make it a Slaanesh Hellbrute, a Khorne Hellbrute, a Tzeentch Hellbrute, a Nurgle Hellbrute, or just a Chaos Space Marine Hellbrute. Which could lead us to getting our first weapons platform that is basically like an 18-inch range, like strength 14 sound cannon. That could also, instead of doing like 2 shots at strength 14, do like 10 shots at strength 8. So it plays a little more like a Mutilith Vortex Beast with its options. Like, bring the dirges back. Give me the dirge casters. Because I get that people talk about how the Demon Prince is kind of that. Like, the Demon Prince is supposed to be our anti-armor, but, I mean, at most you're doing, like, a couple mortals. You need to be a specific detachment to get high enough functional swing damage in order to kill a vehicle. Such a limiting unit. No, yeah, those kits have, like, the multi-god function. But, like, that's the thing. Like, consider the weapon loadouts that the Hellbrute has access to, and how few actually fit any meta. Like, the Heavy Bolter feels so weak. Even the Thousand Sun one, which is, like, the good one, feels really weak. Like, who cares about 3 bullets with the potential for sustain? Like, I don't. I don't know if the points value is worth it for that. But give me access to spells. Now we're talking. Well, that's the thing, but then they changed it, and there are some units that have come to fruition, right? Where they now have different cards. Like, consider what happened to the Tau battle suits because of the notice that the Meltas and Flamers and stuff were just, like, vastly different in terms of their cause and effect, or, like, their output effect. So what did Games Workshop do? They gave you 2 separate cards. For one type of unit, just to, like, allow it to work. So if that's the case, I'll take cheap Hellbrutes. Like, even if they make it so that the points values are different based on what your gear loadout is, but you can still only take, like, 3 or whatever. Like, 3 total Hellbrutes, points value related to gear loadouts. I'd take a couple cheap Hellbrutes, like, if they were cheap enough. Because those things are just tiny Terminators, and you just put them on top of points. Tell people to come get you. So most of the fabric in my entire army is white. It's like a really light blue up to a really light gray. Do we think the Flawless Blades need a different color cloth? Maybe make them stand out a little bit more. Oofda. What's up, Drunken? It is going alright. We are on trim work day, so this is going to be a bit. I'm hoping to at least get to the end of trim work rendering. But I'm also hoping that people keep coming into chat and distracting me, so I don't have to keep painting trim. Ah, the curse of trim. Stupid chaos and their need for trim everywhere. Building up the fortitude to start a project. I've been there. But yeah, we're just trying to build up my collection a little bit more than what I've had. I feel like all year I kept playing Emperor's Children at tournaments, and I just didn't have enough stuff to really make different choices in terms of my builds. So we're trying to rectify that a little bit. Part of me wants to run the Peerless Bladesman with just all on-foot people. Then again, the next project we might have is just building another Horus Heresy Land Raider. So I can have a second Land Raider for this army. And then we try the actual frickin' rapid evisceration detachment. Phone call. Sorry about that. For those who do come to the stream, you'll know that I am notoriously bad for starting a stream, getting into the groove, and then a phone rings, and then I have to talk to someone for like 10 minutes. That's cool, getting into painting. That's always fun. The thing about the hobby is you don't have to necessarily play. I mean, if that's your end game goal, sure. But there are a lot of people who explicitly just buy models to paint them because they enjoy it. It is very soothing. Very Bob Rossian. I do, however, play, because playing is freaking awesome. Recently won a kill team tournament. That was 2 days ago. It was fun. I might head back to that place Thursday to help out. Apparently a few people want to learn more on how to play, so I kind of want to show up and show some interesting, fun concepts and ways to view how to activate people and stuff. That'll be fun. Run a little workshop. Problem is I gotta make sure I don't over inundate. That's always something I'm worried about. Just randomly talking people into being like, oh, I don't want to play this anymore. No. That was the opposite of my goal. No, yeah, the pre-paint warm-up of putting stuff on, like putting a YouTube playlist on, watching a couple things, and being like, yeah, I'm getting hyped. Next thing you know, it's 5 o'clock, and you're like, I gotta go get dinner. Gotta get that together. And that's the end of your day. Some days I find that I have to wake up and just chant the word paint the entire time I'm getting ready for my day to be ready to paint. Just to force myself to do it through annoyance. And where I'm at in terms of painting is pretty much like I could have been done, right? Like I've got pretty much all the Thousand Suns I need. I can just play Thousand Suns. I'm okay with one of the lists that I have for Emperor's Children. It's not the best, but it's okay. I could have just been like, no more projects for me. Let's finish these Raptors for Kill Team and call it a day. Nope. Here we are. Well, if you want to look at some fun projects and some cool things, hype yourself up a bit, we do have a Discord community. Should be linked in the description. You're over on Twitch, it looks like. We're also over on YouTube. We do both. If you prefer music that isn't publicly licensed, you can hang out on Twitch. Get a different playlist over on YouTube of slightly less recognizable music. I recently saw a short on YouTube going over a fun technique that I kind of want to use, but I'm not sure where. It's the idea, I think we brought it up yesterday, so some people in here might have already heard me talk about it. It's the idea of doing superglue masking, where you paint something onto a surface, apply superglue to it, paint over top of that superglue, and then utilize isopropylene alcohol to melt parts of the super glue away to let the stuff below break through. And it's really cool looking for like veining. And part of me wants to try it on some power swords. Like, we might actually try it on these flawless blade weapons. We start with chartreuse. I do the super glue over top of it. And then I would apply orange on top of the super glue. And then we basically hit it with a Q-tip with isopropylene alcohol in spots to make circular effects appear all over it. So the orange is more like a fiery effect that's like spirally and all over the place. The problem is I'm hyper worried that that will end poorly for me. Figure out how to get the chartreuse in each and every one of those eye holes. Make sure I got most of the trim. What you painting though, Drunken, you say? Oh, a Neurolictor. Parasite of Mortex. Neurolictors are cool. I like the new Nid models, the ones that have like the weird brainy things. Those could be cool to do the super glue trick with, because you would paint the brain like the lightest pink possible. You would hit it with super glue. You would do a darker pink, and then go over that with like the alcohol to knock it back, and then go over it again with super glue with like a red, like near the bottom maybe, or just in general areas, and then go over it again to create like the swirly red veins on the brain, or even like a dark blue for like dark blue freaking veins. Oh, that'd be cool. I could try to find the video on YouTube and then drop it in the Discord so you can see the process, because it's pretty cool. Very personally interested. Ah, the little bugs. One of the locals is a very adamant player of NIDS. He has pretty much maximum of the standard units, like the things you can just get easily, and then he has one of the flying super titans and then one of the walking bio titans. He's got that full collection of NIDS going. I think he's almost there with orcs. He also loves orcs a lot. NIDS are cool, though. I had a friend who was really into NIDS back when we were in, like, 3rd and 4th. Or actually, he started, I think, in 4th and 5th. That was when he got into NIDS. He was a big fan of Carnifexes. He is now talking to me about starting a Necron army in 10th. I'm trying to help him out with that. He's into the whole Necromancer style of gameplay. They do need a refresh, I think, right? I feel like I don't see enough of them. We see Screamer Killers. People will run Screamer Killers. I remember seeing an old One Eye in the first time I was playing. Someone brought back their, like, really old One Eye model. One of the few named characters of the batch. Wait, someone told you NIDS were easy? Easy to play or easy to paint? Like, which one? Which one did they say? Easy to both? Easy to paint. Okay. I mean, it depends on how you do it, I guess. Because it's usually a blend of, like, flesh and then a blend of carapace. And with how speed paint is right now, makes it kind of easy. There's a lot of cool effects you can apply to it because the fleshy bits are a little bit more prone to interesting effects than anything else. I mean, you don't have to deal with necessarily the trim like I do, which is what we're doing today. But I did kind of cheat the system with my process for these guys, involving a lot of airbrush directional painting. Relying more on the glow of the pink than anything else. Play as well isn't that bad with Tyranid, honestly. Play is pretty straightforward. You do have a lot of, like, weakling units, but those units can surprise you at times. Their stats and rules and abilities are, like, a little shocking to use at certain moments of the game where you're just like, ah, these are my fodder units. They shouldn't kill that tank. Tank dead. You're like, whoa. I've watched a squad of Gaunts kill a Hellbrute. He was playing the faction that can get lethal hits or something. Whatever detachment that was. I think it's Vanguard or something. Ugh. Do I even have icy purple alcohol? I might. Oh, I kind of want to see that on a frickin' armor now. What's up? Go for it. Oh, yeah. If you're looking to play, Biotitan should probably be on the back list of your items to get. Like, that's near the end. I think that was one of the final ones our pretty serious Tyranid player went with. Just because it's like, ugh. It's so expensive, and if you're trying to play in games and tournaments and events, rarely is it a cool idea to bring one. Rarely. It's usually one of those situations where everyone involved agrees that it's like cool to bring one, and then you're going to be playing like a 5,000 point game or something. Because if you're playing at like 2K, and I don't know if it, I honestly don't know if the Biotitan fits at 2K. It might. You still have this situation of the Biotitan can only kill so much. And it can't be everywhere at once doing all the actions, so you're probably going to lose the game. And your opponent's not going to kill your Biotitan. He's just going to avoid getting shot by your Biotitan while simultaneously scoring all the points. And that's just like no fun. But man, you play like a 3K game. That's awesome. It does look cool. Fair warning, though, that is a resin model to my memory. It's one of those Forge World models. I don't know how into the whole system of 40K you've been for however long you've been, but resin models are, at best, known for arriving in not great condition. In particular, there usually is a very good chance components of that resin will be very bent. Gotta find my purple. The only way to unbend resin like that is to basically utilize boiling water. So yeah, you'd have to apply boiling water and then utilize your hands in boiling water to try to unbend the components that are bent. And when you look at the Biotitan, consider the amount of weight that solid bricks of resin have, and consider how tiny those legs are. I can't imagine anyone that owns a Biotitan feels confident that it's not going to one day just snap under its own weight. I think the running understanding of how to build a Biotitan is to try to run brass rods up the legs. Because if you can run a brass rod up the leg, you've basically reinforced the Titan so that it should hopefully stand for longer before it starts bending under its own, you know, gigantess. So yeah, probably not a good first purchase. Definitely lean into other things first. Did I paint the arm component? No. Like, I built the Fulgrim, I think it's Fulgrim Transfigured. It's from the Horus Heresy line. I painted him in place of the Fulgrim for 40k. Because I really like that pose instead of the new one. That one is also a full resin model. I had to kind of unbend some stuff when it got here. Not a lot. Oh, geez. Yeah, this is an expensive hobby. Fortunately, once you get to a certain point, you can just start playing and then, you know, calm down on the purchases because they're not exactly necessary past a certain point if you're already enjoying playing. There's also fun side markets like eBay and stuff. You can usually find people's old models that they don't want anymore. Definitely invest in methods of stripping paint if that's going to be a situation for you, because usually people will paint them a little bit and then decide they don't want to play. So they just offload them for hyper cheap. You can buy like very good quantities of armies doing that. And I am an avid fan of recycling, so it's probably worth it. Games Workshop games are no stranger to what is common across most competitive tabletop games. It is people who chase metas and don't have a lot of room in their house, but do have a lot of money. So when one year, all of a sudden, the Tyranids are the meta, they'll buy a ton of the Tyranids they need for their list, put them together super quick, maybe put like a quick paint job on them sometimes, but not really. And then next thing you know, Tyranids are no longer the ultimate meta. They're not like an 80% chance to win anymore. And then they just offload them on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, wherever they can go. That was probably someone who bought a box set of Tyranids that came with Gaunts they didn't want. Because that's a thing. Like, the Emperor's Children box set that's out right now is technically the one I want to purchase, but I don't want that Fulgrim. I do not want that Fulgrim. I want the one team of Flawless Blades, and then that is the last Noise Marine squad that I need. If I could grab that, that would be great. But it's a bit expensive for me. Do not want Fulgrim, which would mean I would want to go to eBay. Now, granted, I do feel like not a lot of people want Fulgrim. He's not a great character. He's overcosted for what he's capable of doing. He's technically the worst of the Primarchs. All they need to do is sack up and then give him a fights first aura. That's it. That's all they have to do. Sack up, give him a fights first aura. Like a proper one. Not just a I get to fights first situation. I understand the flavor of it. I understand the whole he's selfish, that's awesome type situation. But you make that thing an aura, people start using him. I'll surround him in flawless blades and turn that aura on. Come at me. Oh, it would be so good. Finish out my flawlesses. Final squad of Noise Marines. Run a fully on foot Emperor's Children team. Wish there were more of these, like, knight-style helmets. Personally wish every single one of my flawless blades had these. The rest of, like, the BDSM-style heads just aren't that interesting looking. These multi-eyed knights are some pretty good. Ah, Crispy JX. Bam. Got him. Bot down. Oh my god. We are one away from finishing the first of 2 squads of Flawless Blades for flats. Not even like done, just flats. Then we have 10 infractors to do on top of that. The feeling that I'm only getting the flats done today is starting to sink in. Oh. Should I even talk about this? Maybe. So one of the coolest things that was happening during this Kill Team tournament, there was a D&D session going on. And I'm pretty sure some of you out there are like familiar with D&D, right? You're familiar with how D&D kind of plays and concepts and stuff. If this group of D&D players could figure out how to stream to a system that wouldn't demonetize them, they would be one of the greatest and most entertaining D&D sessions of all time. If I were to say it had the same energy as a World Star video of a Waffle House fight, it had that energy. It was so goddamn fun. Like, I was trying to focus so hard on like my own strategy and stuff. But like the level of popping off, like someone had to take like a hard test to like get past a certain point in the story, and everyone like was like, what? They all get up and they're all like, come on man, you got this. And that's not the part that made that the best, right? That's only kind of the part that made that the best. The part that truly made that the best is that their DM was this like maybe late 40s, early 50s Mr. Rogers history teacher style dude, right? So very soft spoken, but able to put like flair on things that are going on. Like he's got a little creative flair in there to like toss some fun concepts at people. So you got that guy trying to run it like D&D, like just very calm, collected, and together. And then you got the people in the group just like standing up to like, get off me, asshole! I got this! Don't hold me back! Dude, it was so good. It was so good. Certainly the absolute highlight of that tournament was just having that going off in the side of my ear while I'm trying to win with Hearthkin salvagers. Like, I was getting pumped from it. So yeah, quite possibly the actual coolest thing. It was so good, man. Indeed, Jack. Always painting, always pushing. Turtle tank. Nice. Wait, what'd you buy? What'd you buy, Jack? Wait, was this something you bought like forever ago? Was this something you bought last week? I bought 6 of these flawless blades from Warpfire. And I got them in pretty like quickly, I'd say. Pretty effectively. So was that the that wasn't the combat patrol? I thought you got the combat patrol. Was it a DP? Did you buy a DP on foot? What the hell did you buy? AA Ron. Oh, you got the mag case, that's right. Oh yeah, the bloat drone. So Aaron, the reason I was talking about looking into trying to snag one of those battle boxes with the destroyers and stuff is because they're going to be way cheaper than buying them separately. And probably pretty rare because I think they're already sold out online, which means only certain stores are going to get them. Like things like Alternate Universe or something will probably have 1 or 2 boxes. You may need to like contact them to see if they are getting extra. Or we just build and hope. I don't know. Again, 11th is supposedly this year, at least the announcement of it, if not the release of it. So we're still not too sure what's going to happen there in terms of, like, what's going on. The assumption is it's not going to change too much because currently Warhammer 40k is now the entry-level game for Games Workshop. And you don't really want to screw that up as a company when you got people you would never expect to purchase a tabletop game buying your ish, while simultaneously not losing too many of your original fans. Like, there's absolutely losses because we are human beings and change scares the hell out of us. I did do a tournament not long ago where a guy hit me with the whole, oh, you guys are playing 40k. Yeah, I stopped playing that in 4th edition when it was still good. And I was like, oh, with the blast templates and, you know, no discernible rules or, you know, arguments over positioning, whether or not you scored points. Back when that was good, he was like, oh, I mean, yeah. It's like, yep. Fucking weirdo. It could. I mean, it could just be a hold my beer situation. The problem is they are publicly traded, so they are a little bit open to outside sources being like, you need to do this so we make more money. Which, that's always an annoyance. Because the screw-up potential is real. They had the biggest year, right? Like, COVID hit, people were trying to find something to do. Bandai Namco and Wizards of the Coast. Oh, no, I think it was just Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast owned by Bandai Namco? I think they are. Right? Either way. Like, a few weeks before 10th edition was announced, Bandai Namco had their longest run of, hey, do you guys want to hate Dungeons and Dragons? Like, that was their entire series of, like, a month and a half. Was just like, let's tell you why you're going to hate Dungeons and Dragons going forward. You need to pay this subscription fee. All your old stuff is gone. If you make content for using our stuff on YouTube, you're going to owe us a bunch of money. Blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just non-stop. Non-stop. One right after another. Of just making everyone go, why are you doing this? And then during that whole process, at one point, the guys from Games Workshop go out on stage and go, hey, our rules are free. We're making the core rules for 10th edition free. And it was just like, boom, the 1-2 punch. You got any fun turtles? My brother's huge into turtles. I say that like he's a 5-year-old, but he's like a full-grown scientist that focuses on like amphibian life and stuff. I think he's like one of the big wildlife, like the wildlife. What is it called? It's like game and like he pays attention to the local ecosystems to talk about whether or not companies should be able to build in areas, as well as like figuring out the limitations of hunting season, stuff like that. Basically everything the government hates right now, or companies that pay people in the government hate right now. I can't build my data center in a swamp? When we were kids, he always had turtles in his room. And it would always escape. And then it would come find me. And then hang out. And I don't understand what that is. I remember I was asleep on the floor once. Like, I just threw a futon on the floor and I decided I don't know. I really wanted to sleep on the floor. And then I woke up and he was underneath my pillow. Just like, I don't, it just came into my room, went under the pillow, and hung out. Where I used to live, we had a pond. And that pond had a alligator snapping turtle in it. That was like the size of my table. That thing could have easily killed a human being if it wanted to. He was so huge. He was so big. Yeah, Lasco almost drove into that pond. At which point that turtle would have killed him. That thing was the size of Lasco's upper half, okay? Like, the upper half of Lasco's body was the size of that turtle. It would have broke into his car, ripped his face off. Alright, that's one squad of Flawless. On to the 10 infractors. We are currently on an hour and a half into the stream. I have finished the general painting of flats for 6 people. Yes. We're doing it, chat. Did Aaron just pop in here to say painting and then vanish into the night? Go have his dark thoughts. It's a solid play. Damn, he switched names. It's whatevs, man. Let me know if you wanted to go over Necron stuff, though. To be clear, one of the people in the club that I play at near Rand's house has one of, like, the top maybe 20 Necron players in the world. Like, he know what up. He doesn't really play Necrons that much because he does consider his knowledge of them to be too strong. It makes him very hard to beat at tournaments. And he doesn't like that feeling. So he kind of cuts back a little bit occasionally. Tries other stuff that he thinks is fun. But there are a lot of ways to play them. You can Gray Tide it, which is just a boatload of frickin' warriors and like a monolith. You can get some specialists in there. There's some fun play with like the heavier warden type units. They're pretty nice. I know a core unit that almost every list builds for and brings, though, is the Wraiths. Usually you want a full squad of Wraiths and a Chronomancer. Because they're near impossible to kill. For how little they are in points, I would have to dump, like, all 2,000 points of my army into them to kill them. They are outright crazy. And again, I do think Rand still has that box of like weird Necron stuff in his closet that Max gave him. We gave you a lot of it, but there's probably still more. And then if you want to listen to an actual playlist, pop over to my Twitch side. I think we got Foo Fighters on right now. Someone giving the best. Yeah, it could be cool to play Necrons. They're kind of close to elites, which I mean the bulk of us play elites. But there is an element to them that's like a little bit less than elite. My favorite faction to play, ooh, I wish it was Thousand Suns, but I feel like things they've been doing to rebalance the game have made the part of the Thousand Suns that's really good to play not so good, and that a lot of the combination plays that came out when the Codex dropped were all removed from the game. Like, they determined that they were too powerful for whatever reason and got rid of them. But the problem is other teams that had similar combos in equivalency of like power level and ability and functionality kept their stuff. So like they saw the power as a mistake for my army and then didn't see it as a mistake for anyone else's, and it's like, ugh. Alright. So the way you have to play them is like not as fun or interesting, I think. I wish it was. I wish they didn't take most of that away, because they'd probably be still super enjoyable. Emperor's Children I have a lot of fun playing because they're very straightforward. They're not a strong army. They never really sold themselves as that. I mean, everyone noticed on the top of the release that insofar as an army goes, they weren't going to be that powerful just because of everything they had missing. The fact that their detachments didn't really make up for the loss either. Like, very few detachments provide enough power to the people that are on foot or playing to warrant, like, thinking of them in terms of, like, oh, this is super beneficial to me. It's just not good. Lore-wise, though, I do like the Thousand Suns a little bit more for lore than most. Although I also recognize kind of like the bad nature of it. because everything you read in the lore makes it feel like, oh, they're an army that got tricked and blah blah blah, and they're just trying to do what they can to fix things and, you know, overcome the sibling rivalry that they had with the Space Wolves, which ended in the Space Wolves basically mass murdering civilians on their planet, that kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot that points to you being like, oh, I feel bad for Magnus and his kids. But then you really look at it, like, harder, and you look at, like, extended lore about what's going on. And there's this moment where I believe there's, like, a sorcerer, and he's talking to a Necron. I think it's Trazen. I'm not fully sure. But he's basically being questioned as to why his loyalties lie with, like, the rest of his people and, you know, Ahriman and all that. And he's like, oh, because he's going to solve the rubric. He's going to figure out how to get our brothers back to normal. No matter what. Like, we got to get back there. We got to make them normal again. And then I think the Necron goes like, well, why hasn't he? He's like, oh, it's a difficult spell. It's one of the greatest spells ever. No one can break it. So we have to push harder than most to get past it and get back to normal. And then Trazen went, it's easy to break. And then he just does it in front of him. Like, he has a rubric there, and he pulls him back from dust to being a person right in front of him. And he's like, that's all I gotta do. So there's like a layer of it of just like, oh, there's probably a good chance that what's going on with the rubrics right now isn't going to ever change. And it's specifically because rubrics and a bunch of the rest of the sorcerers feel it's much better this way. That their brothers are easier to control. Maybe there's even a lot more strength that they get from this. So it's maybe a lie that that's what they're trying to do kind of situation. Which leads to a lot of like other questions of like, huh. He was trying to do the right thing, but ego changed it. Now, granted, if the result of that moment was like, oh, your arrogance did this, but it's fine. We're not pissed at you. Then the Space Wolves don't run at him, or don't go to the planet to start killing all the civilians. Doesn't piss off the rest of the Thousand Sons army. Like, maybe they even work together when Tzeentch kind of jumps on them and starts getting all their familiars to like change and mutate them. And then instead of the Thousand Sons as we know it, we get a version of them where there's not as many. They're like a hyper-elite Space Marine Psyker type army. And, you know, they're still at home with Daddy. And their whole goal is to try to bring Magnus back together from all his shards. Fix the problems. Instead, it was just everyone dogpiling on him all at once. Yeah, but he had that like child arrogance, like just built into him, of wanting to prove how like amazing he is. So it's just classic writing. It's just individuals' hubris playing out. Good intentions and all that. Yeah, because he's that powerful. He was powerful enough to break the wall. But that's one of those situations of like, don't do it, because if you do it, demons might come here. Instead, it's just like, don't do it. Right? Like, tell me why I shouldn't do it. He had that kind of tism. Don't just hit me with don't do it and then walk away. Explain to me the rationale. Had he known the walls would have broken down and caused demons to come pouring in, then yeah, maybe he wouldn't have. Maybe he would have, like, sent an email or something. Good evening, Father. Real quick. But then that kind of plays into the whole Tzeentch side of things. All is planned. Which is my favorite reason to play anything Tzeentch related, be it Thousand Suns, Tzeentch Demons, Disciples of Tzeentch and AOS. I love playing them for the sole purpose that if I'm playing against someone, right, and something really bad happens to them, like genuinely bad, I get to look them dead in the eyes and go, all is planned. I was playing a person who really loves salamanders. The army. Maybe also the lizard thing or amphibian, but like... Specifically, he wanted to play salamanders. He had an entire team, he had an entire squad of Hellblasters. And he ran at my MVB, my Mutalith Vortex Beast. Because he was like, oh, I'm just going to shoot it with my Hellblasters and bring it down, right? Between the Invulnerable and the Feel No Pain, he did 0 damage to me. He then rolled his overheats and rolled like almost the entire squad as an overheat. And like the opening act of the game was him killing nothing on my side and me killing almost one of his whole squads without shooting at it in like the top of turn 1. Well, Jack, salamanders are up there. Oh, you can't, but I think I saw one at one of the stores I go to, and there might be one at Days and Nights near me. Also, salamanders are more of like a side faction, so like you could technically buy any Space Marine thing and just paint them salamanders. They are a codex, though, that's coming up, according to the roadmap. They're going to be very close to the rollover of rules to the next edition. But salamanders are on the list of, hey, everyone, here's the new salamanders team type situation. So, if you're still thinking of playing them, pretty soon will be the time to jump on that. Yeah, everyone runs them as the Infernal, whatever the spear is. The Burning Lance. Because then you just ride up and friggin' rhinos, hop out, get all your bonuses, shoot. Get back in afterwards. The real question is if you guys are getting Vulcan back. Not just Vulcan Heston, but like proper Vulcan. Another Imperial Fists player. They're everywhere.
Dude, Imp Fists is probably... if I could hazard a guess, I feel like Imp Fists is probably number 2 on, like, the list of most intriguing chapter for a lot of players. You'd think it would be like Black Templar or Blood Angels or something. No, I think it's Imperial Fist. Which is why I think in the next season we're getting Dorn. Like, I think you're going to be getting Dorn pretty soon. I just feel like it's got to happen. It's going to be Dorn and Perturabo. The big rivalry coming back in. I do think more people are going to come to like Salamanders just because of the focus from like the show. I do think Games Workshop should put a little bit of time in, though, for White Scars. There's an element to the writing of White Scars that I think people would really like in, like, an animated video. The Karkadons. The Karkadons, I would say, are rare. For people's interest, but I do like the lore that's there. They could become something more. I know in the US, I want to say they're the Raptors, the Imperial Raptors. Those are a big one because the Imperial Raptors are basically the US military. It's the US military. It's olive drab armor. Everything about their lore writes as though they fight like US soldiers fight, you know, like breach and clear style combat, trench tactics, calling in airstrikes. Catderps plays Death Guard. He's a newly forged Death Guard player. And they have great models. A lot of amazing detail. Karkadons would be cool, but I doubt Karkadons are going to be like a big thing anytime soon. But if they could drop the Jagatai Khan, like, movie or something, and just watching a squad of White Scars go to war, just people dying around them, explosions everywhere, and they're just, like, giggling a little bit. They're cracking jokes to each other. Like, it just feels like a Marvel movie at that point. Unthinkable cosmic horror is going on at every turn, and they're just like, man, that sandwich is really hitting different today, huh? What the... Why are they talking about this? Just everyone on radio laughing. Could be cool for Karkadon. So the best Karkadon conversion I've ever seen. There's a. They sell like. I actually have them. The old Skull box has an entire section in that box set of orc jawbones. And the orc jawbones are about the same size as this like neck ring right here. So you just put the jawbones around the neck ring and then you paint them like shark's teeth. So perfect. But that would be a crazy one to get like a model for, specifically their leader, the one that's like 15 feet tall in Terminator armor. That guy's crazy. Oh my god. I gotta stay locked in. I gotta keep going. Getting these flats done would be a solid start. Probably 2 more days of painting after that fact. And then on Thursday, if I go check out the group to see if they're doing any like Kill Team E teaching stuff on Thursday, I'll have to, you know, hold back the possibility of buying another Land Raider or something. I don't see how else Emperor's Children for the rapid evisceration list. I don't see how else they win. The Land Raider would be to run rapid evisceration. Like, that's all it would be. There's a play there. There's a lot of plays within rapid evisceration. And then it's technically not backline. I think in rapid evisceration, you stop caring about your backline. Because you can get there whenever you need to. Like, you could hold backline if you have enough stuff on the front lines, like the rhinos and the other guys, like the infractors and the rhinos. Maybe some noise marines and some rhinos. But they just extended the rerolls of ones to the friggin' transports. That was their big balanced data slate thing. Because it used to be that when a squad hops out for the rest of the turn, you get rerolls of ones, which is awesome. But that was it. And then they recently were just like, if you have a transport, that transport just has reroll ones. So now if you have 2 Land Raiders, you have 8 las cannon shots that reroll ones. You fill that bad boy with some flawless blades. Throw a Lucius in there. do all right. Give them the steams. It's got to be the thing I do. I got to go Peerless Bladesman to a tournament, and then I'm going to call my army list I'm stimming. I will gladly lose a tournament with a list that is a pun. It wasn't hard building the Horus Heresy Land Raider. It was actually pretty easy. My only issue is the annoyance that some people might have that I'm using it. Just because it is a little bit smaller from at least one angle than a regular Land Raider. And yeah, the guys from the Warhammer community website was like, oh yeah, you can use them. The official concept from Games Workshop is, yep, you can use Horus Heresy Land Raiders as Land Raiders. But then all the people who play in professional are like, yeah, don't listen to those guys. 99% of the time they're wrong. Actual tournament policy will be different. So the last thing I would want to do is sign up for a GT and be like, oh, by the way, I'm using the Proteus Land Raider. Is that okay? And then for them to be like, no, it's too short. I was like, cool. I don't own regular Land Raiders because in the US they're near impossible to get your hands on. So I guess I won't play this list. Let me get a beverage. Been talking for 2 hours straight with no moisture. I don't know if Max has a Lascannon Land Raider. I know he ran it as a Lascannon Land Raider once. I still prefer the Proteus style. I like with my Emperor's Children, I like using old tanks. Like I like using the Horus Heresy tanks. I have Horus Heresy Rhinos, I have the Horus Heresy Land Raider. If I could just get one more, I'd be happy with it. It's why I kind of don't like the Mauler Fiend as an option, because I want to use the old things for it, because this is kind of like the army that appeared out of nowhere from the past. wonder how good Total War 40k is going to be. Max was painting corn berserkers for his friend. Sent me pictures the other day. Well, yesterday to be specific. Despite the lack of power and interest in like alternate units and stuff, I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy that I went Emperor's Children. I kind of have that feeling like had I gone Votan, where I would be right now is basically I'd have everything that Votan has. And then this new battle box would be coming out, and it would be like, oh, I'm gonna get the stuff for the new battle box, and that's all I need. Like, I feel like my Emperor's Children are almost to that point. He got gifted them, but I think he might be, like, selling them to a person. Because I want to say, originally he was talking about wanting to play them. It's either he's painting them for a friend or he's painting them for himself, and then they were the ones he got from a friend. I can't remember exactly what he said. Well, the DP's painted right now. I think you said you were already buying one anyway. I'm telling you, you use that DP once and you're not gonna care anymore. You're gonna be like, yo, this is in every list I have. This stupidly strong DP. That thing is basically the Wraiths with a Chronomancer of the Death Guard right now, in my opinion. Just walk that guy out middle. Stop carrying. Sometimes it's not the worst to hide. It just depends on your approach. As long as you have the follow-up. Like, I don't send my Flawless Blades in first for a reason. They need to go in second. The cleanup crew. Yeah. I don't know if starting them out in 2v2s and 3v2s is a good way to, I don't know, get them hyped for like just playing. It's a whole weird thing. It's difficult to tell what you should be doing in any one moment. I mean, I'd probably want to play you guys more. Like, just so you know, dude, if you want to ever get, like, a game in, like, in general, even if we can't make it out to Rand's, like, the whole way, we just go to the Warhammer Wilmington store, man. Just go up to the Warhammer store. The only downside is you can't sit in the store vaping. Ugh. Yeah, it's the same with anyone. Like, I know Aaron wants to try to play a kill team at any point. If he wants to just meet up there, I can head up that way. Because that's kind of like, I feel like for a lot of you guys, that's the halfway point between where I am and where you are. So that's fine. I don't really have like a play table down here. I'd have to set something up on like the dining room table upstairs. What sucks is there's so many people within like the kill team group that are actually kind of closer to me, but like none of them really view the one store that's next to me as like a place to go and play, because those owners are just like so weird about tabletop games in their store. They always seem so disappointed whenever you're just like, can I play kill team here? And they're just like, oh, I guess. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I just handed you a ton of money. Literally for this moment. And you're just like, we'd rather you just play card games back there. So much more. I keep looking up. And I see the rest of them, and I'm just like, no. Why we do this? Would it be weird if I put the medal that I won for the tournament on, and then went to the store on Thursday to like hang out with them? Just wore it the whole day. It's a pretty cool medal. I didn't expect this. What's up, dabbing? My setup's just close to like a general streaming setup. It's not a webcam. It is a... What is this? An EOS M200 Canon camera hooked up to, through HDMI, a kind of like a multi-HDMI input external USB thing. It's the Atom Mini Pro ISO. And then I have two microphones. I have a Shure SM7B. What the hell is this? I gotta clean that up. A Shure SM7B on this side. That is what you're hearing me through now. And then on the other side, I have... What is this? I can't remember what this is. This is the other one that people consider to be pretty good. It's the Audio Technica. It's like the AT2000 or something. It does pick up the sound of the airbrush refilling itself, but it's a pretty dull airbrush sound because it's too far away. Because these are condenser mics. So like as I back up, you suddenly start hearing less and less of me because the distance is a problem. So it helps out a little bit. But yeah, the camera is a mirrorless. You don't need to do any of that. Like, you could get away probably with like a regular camera. A lot of what matters for recording mini painting is the lighting. So you're going to want to make sure you've got enough like LED style studio lighting, which isn't expensive. Honestly, the lighting I have here was pretty cheap to purchase. Because even like basic webcams drastically increase in their quality when the lighting is well done. What's up with you, dabbing? Dude, I don't think I'm ever going to forget that D&D campaign that was going on while we were playing the Kill Team tournament. That was so wild. It was awesome. Like, whenever someone talks about how D&D is kind of like that bridge between so many different walks of life and so many different people, they ain't lying. I've gotten so used to, like, the Legends of Evantris and Critical Role style D&D campaigns to watch this D&D campaign that had, as I stated, the same energy as a Waffle House fight. Oh, it was awesome. The infinite potential flavors of a D&D campaign. Yeah, we did a tournament on Saturday. Kill Team tournament. I won that one. I'm trying to figure out something else to do during the week. Might try to head back to that place on Thursday. Apparently that group meets there every Thursday night. Got the fun medal for it. It was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to win. It's weird. I had so many clashing feelings when going into it. They called me into it because they had 7 out of the 8 people they needed. And they didn't want to have someone who just gets to sit out every round. That'd be weird. I technically didn't want to go because I had just come back from my buddies where I had basically played Warhammer 40k for 8 whole days, 10 hours a day. I was just like, yo, I am done for at least a month. And they were like, good luck with that. You're coming in. It's like, all right, fine, whatever. No, not Magic Stronghold. Yeah, so they called me up, and I was like, I'm going to choose a team that isn't strong and also isn't brainy. Like, that was my concept. I wanted to play a team that didn't have a lot going for it, was conceptually weak, and by the end of every game, I wouldn't feel like I burned all my energy to play. My assumption was in round 1 I'd get like knocked, right? Like it would just be 0-1. I wouldn't have to care from that point forward, and I could just coast. You know, do some dumb stuff, try to set up a big play that won't really help me for scoring, blah blah blah. That was my hope. Next thing you know, my first opponent mistakenly put himself in the worst possible position, allowing me to like wipe out a third of his team in a single shot. And I was like, God, I have to actually think this game. I started hyper-focusing. I went with the Salvagers. Hearthkin Salvagers. They have a lot going against them. Low wounds, low movement speed. Their weapons aren't exactly high tier. Their accuracy is super low. The fact that they have to play close causes problems. Low APL. which is bad when you consider how many specialists they have that need APL to do a lot of really cool things. Very command point hungry as a team. I beat a Nemesis Claw there. I will say the big threat that I brought to the table, one of my favorite threats that I haven't been able to use often, but I finally decided to really force myself to use this time around, is a Salvager using a deployable barricade. Because 8 wounds sucks. I will never disagree with you that 8 wounds sucks. A 3+ save that goes to a 2+ with one of those deployables is really nice. Gets even better when you move up and you throw smoke down on the person in the deployable. So you reduce piercing 2 to piercing 1. They can't retain crits. You have a 2+ save. The team has the ability to reduce all crits to normals anyway with one of its ploys. I put a Gatling gun behind that thing. He stepped out with a missile launcher, shot one of my guys, didn't kill him, then I ripped his missile launcher apart. And then every time he activated someone to try to go against what I did, never killed my Gatling gun. My Gatling gun just like lasted through all of it, and I just kept annihilating his people in that room. It was crazy. What's up, Chalupa? Chalupa Batman. Solid The League reference. Baneblade, goddamn. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't buy the Baneblade. I was playing GSC and part of my brain was like, yo, let's just get a Baneblade and like some GSC. Because that was back when that was kind of normal. But then I would have had to have purchased the Imperial Guard Codex. And then when the GSC Codex came out and wasn't like super into the idea of using allies as much, oh, that would have been a bad idea, man. That would have been the worst call. It's such a cool idea for it, though. I wanted to cover it in graffiti. Like, fluorescent graffiti. Such a big thing to just douse in artwork. Lord Marshal. Oh, you got the Death Riders? Nice. I got to witness the all-mounted Imperial Guard list before it got nerfed into the floor. I think it was Wargames Live that showed it. There was a guy that The story goes he converted his whole list because he wanted to try it. So he converted, I think, like half of it the night before. Because his entire army was Imperial Guard mounted on the back of lizards. Like dinosaurs and raptors. So he bought a bunch of like lizardmen stuff. And just put Imperial Guard on them. It was so cool. God, now I got a $100 store credit burning my pocket, and I don't know what I want to buy. They had a Helldrake. I almost bought a Helldrake. A third one to make an Emperor's Children Helldrake. There's no way they let the increased toughness of the Emperor's Children Helldrake roll over to the next iteration, though. I might as well, if they have the Horus Heresy Proto, I might just buy the Proto. I think in total it'll cost me 20 bucks. Alright. Time is it? 4 o'clock? I've only got like an hour and a half before I gotta go. Which is hopefully enough time to finish all these flats, because Jesus Christ. Batch painting for the lose. Still, though, I know of no better way to do this. I probably would lose my mind if I painted, like, one model at a time this way. It's just so much easier to get the paint to the type you need. Like, to the consistency. Just do a bunch of it that way, and then just go. You get honed in on the details that matter. Then you're just good. I gotta remember to check BCP again. I tried it like 2 days ago and it just wouldn't work. And that's pretty much how I find out about tournaments in the area, so if it doesn't work, I need to figure something out. Hopefully it's not like the people who run it being like, guess what, you need to actually pay to use the app. Because that would suck. But I don't know why my off the app account didn't store any of my tournaments from last year. My guess is they changed their database to something new with their new setup for the new year. And like, it just screwed it up. Chalupa, you building any of this for like a big event? You getting ready for something? You just looking to flex on the tabletop with a Bane Blade? Because man, most people don't run Land Raiders in modern games right now just because the maps and stuff aren't designed for large vehicles. I cannot imagine trying to swing a Bane Blade at a big event. To be clear, if I don't get the flats for the gold done before I have to end stream and have to like run some errands, I'm gonna do them off stream tonight. I'm not starting stream up tomorrow and being like, let's keep going with flats, guys. No, we get into renders. Renders is tomorrow. Get this Exultant started. This is gonna be a big one. was planning on trying to do an Exultant with different loadout than normal, but like I said, I realized I only had the one with the Spear Whip combo. And the Spear Whip combo is still like the best combo in my opinion. How we doing, chat? We getting into the wee hours, which usually means chat dies down. It's good to see a weird uptick on a Monday. Yeah, it's usually around dinner time that everyone's like, I got somewhere to be. Goodbye. I'll be out here, be the cringe content creator. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. More for the YouTube side of things. I think Twitch analytics is more about talking. Like, I think they actually, most of the focus on Twitch is whether or not the people in the channel with you are actually talking in chat. Since that's usually a little more related to who's going to be getting hit with ads. That they're actually there and not just like leaving you up on a TV and wandering away. Giant golden halo ring. Oh shit, this is the last infractor. Yes. Yes. And we just have 6 more flawless blades. And we'll be ready to do renders tomorrow. At least of the gold. There's a couple key components on these guys that I would need to lean into, like, I guess different concepting. I still don't know. Do we want to do white fabric on the flawless blades like I do on the leaders? I might do a different, because the one infractor I have painted that is an actual infractor and not one of my conversions has a white robe, like the over-the-shoulder robe that they wear. I'm thinking maybe we try a different thing for this other one. That way I at least have 2 that I could be like, oh, I'm swinging on you with, like, the red one. So it's a little bit easier to make out who's doing what. Which begs the questions for the flawless blades. What should the approach over there be? This is reminding me, I gotta do another musical outing where I spend like a day trying to find new music to get. My album collection is stagnating. Wonder if Insomnium's dropping a new album soon. They've been machine gunning them out recently. LPs, all of it. Boom, and fractors. Which means 6 more that I kind of want to get done within a half an hour. There's so much more to these guys in detail. So there might as well be. I mean, these are the elites. These are the ones you want the detail on. I think I decided I wanted his mask to be gold. Oh, 1 of 6. Did I get the whole sword here? Yeah, good. Good, good, good. Stupid leather mask. I do really wish I had way more of those, like, awesome looking freaking pointed helmets. This is the part where you have to kind of like focus a little more, or at least I have to focus a little more because I'm so close to the end that internally I'm just like, let's just push through. Let's just speed up and get this all done with. And that's usually what happens when, you know, I start going in for the renders. Alright, man. I'm gonna be heading out soon too-ish. But yeah, this is that dangerous moment for me. because I go back in to do the layer work after the fact, and that's when I'm just like, why did I miss this? Why did I not put the stuff down on this part? And it can get bad. So like on one hand, yeah, when I get through this, I want to get moving. I got stuff I got to get to pretty soon. But on the other, don't want to mess up. Can he do it? Can he make it to the end of this rainbow? One day, all gold's flat. As I am in hyper-focus mode, I do keep holding my breath to try to minimize arm shake. So we can just power through these parts. Slight sidestep to finish the leather on the back of his helmet. This guy and 2 more. Come on. Like every gym bro, but with painting. Push, you can do it. Whew. 2 more. Oh, this is another one of the helmets. About 25, 30 minutes. Come on. It is Monday, so I am feeling like I'm pretty ahead of schedule, thankfully. Since I did paint a bit of this on Sunday. Had I bought more, it would have moved the airbrush day to today, and then shit would have been getting real. Last one with about 20 minutes on the clock. Stupid leather mask. No distractions, must push. Bam. With 15 minutes to spare, I believe. Because, yeah, he looks fine. Looks like I got everything on him. All flats done in one day. Ugh. We just did that. For flats, specifically. We got renders tomorrow. Ugh. God, that sucked. We got the heads ready. Or at least baseline ready. They're flesh toned. We got to do the hair color. Glue them into here. Get my servo back up and running. Should be good. Tomorrow is another day. We also have to do... Technically, we could spend a little bit of time tomorrow doing the flats on the daggers. Because it's not as much as the blades. The blades are going to be done in the magma style that my power weapons are. Whereas the blades on the infractors are always platinum. Light blue to light gray to pure white. Yeah, I gotta get moving. Good time out here. Good time. Noticing I'm not hearing any of my messages. Was it because I paused them? Oh, I must have turned the audio to mute. No, I run on two different things. This is Streamlabs, I think. No, this is Stream Elements, and then I have Streamlab. I gotta figure out why I'm not hearing any announcements. New recruit, alerts. Alerts are here. I don't know. I might have to move everything over to Stream Elements and move away from Streamlabs. We'll figure it out. Either way, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. If you want to, keep the conversation going, there should be a link to Discord in the descriptions on both Twitch and YouTube. And we will continue painting tomorrow. Till then, later.